Hi, I'm Callie and welcome to Kapowski Reads, and I am so over summer. I'm so over summer. We have a storm brewing, so I thought that I would try and finish the last summery kind of reads that I have on my radar for this year. Obviously I can read summery books any time of the year, but I do kind of love reading somewhat seasonally. So I want to get these books read before I move on to my autumn reads, and that's the thought process I have. So I have two books that I'm going to be reading in this video. They are kind of summer, well, not even kind of, they are summer horrors. I have Lost in the Garden by Adam S. Leslie. This book is about a trio that go off to a place called Almondby, which is a place that people are told not to go to. They're off to try and rescue a boyfriend. All I know is that this book is weird. That's what I've heard. I've heard it's weird. I know it's set in a perpetual summer, which sounds like, no, I would not fare well then. But that feels definitely like a summertime horror if it's always summer. Quite a big old book, but I've heard good things. I've also heard bad things, but the people I've heard bad things from and we usually tend to be opposites. So that makes me think extra good things. And the other book I'm going to be reading is called Lusus Naturae by Chris Koppel. This book takes place in the summer in a gorgeous seaside town in Kent on the south coast, and there is a monster on the loose. I'm guessing from the title it's going to be a freak of nature. Yeah, we have a rampage, a summertime rampage. I'm like, oh, that sounds fun. Perhaps there will be rampages with ice cream. Yeah, I'm just really excited for some good horrors. I want to be kind of spooked and I want to just have a good time, finish my summer reads, put on a jumper, move on to my autumn reads. I'm so over summer. I couldn't find anything else to put my little mic on, so I'm using sunscreen. Use sunscreen. It's good. I've had the best day. I went to Pilates, which I leave the house now. I went to a new coffee shop. I went to somewhere called Cult of Coffee, and I 9 times out of 10 drink black coffee or espresso, which is also kind of the best way to gauge how good a cafe is, because you can't really hide behind a black coffee or an espresso. And I liked my coffee. I had a good time, so I will go back another time. I took a little walk and then I came home and I finished my book, Lost in the Garden by Adam S. Leslie, and I loved this book. I loved it. Our trio, oh, there's more to it than them just going off on a wee road trip. The book takes place in our world, but there's ghosts that just walk around doing violence against the living. And it's so strange. So even before our trio head off on their little road trip, there's already like immense danger, which kind of makes sense as to why they would go somewhere that they've been told not to go to, because, well, they already live somewhere that's got ghosts that want to hurt them. Already absolutely loving the world building. And we have a trio, but it's not quite a trio. There's one character who knows both of them really well, but the other two, they don't really know each other that well. So there's that sort of awkwardness, which I really enjoyed. Heather is very kind of go with the flow. She's very easy breezy cover girl. It's her boyfriend, Stephen, who they want to go and rescue. They think he needs rescued. Rachel is a kind of wily character. She's always up to no good doing these secret deals. And Antonia is a stand-up comedian who is so awkward as a human. She's just so uncomfortable in every situation. And their dynamic really, really works. It just makes for such an interesting read. I would say the first half of this book is actually just their journey, and I really wanted to eat some ice cream because Heather really, really wanted some ice cream. I really liked when they got to Almond Bay because it reminded me a little bit of, this might be a deep dive, in the Never Ending Story, the book more than the film, because I was a cool kid that read the book, because we didn't have the film, and renting films was expensive. There is a sort of land of the dead, or a city of the dead. It is in the film, but like only really briefly. But it's in the book a lot more. And I always wanted to know more about that location. I always wanted like a little bit more of this world where everybody was dead. And it was so quiet and it was so creepy, and there was just this weird sort of threat and tension. And I would say that a lot of this book gave me that kind of similar vibe, which I wanted and I was very, very happy about. When we got to Almond Bay, which I keep saying wrong is Almond Bay, things got even weirder. And this book was so strange, but in a really good way. It was very disorienting. We kept sort of jumping between sections and between timelines. Like there were flashbacks, there were character changes. It was really almost like trippy. The writing style was gorgeous. It was really beautiful, kind of whimsical, very dreamy, but also very like you were trying to run to keep pace with it, but it was just getting away from you. It reminded me a little bit of Rouge by Mona Awad, that way where you just have to just buckle in for the ride. Do not try to work out what's going on because you probably won't. You probably won't. You just have to enjoy the journey, see where it takes you. If you need a plot to be linear and you need it to go from like A to B, B to C, and you need things to make sense, this might not be the one for you. But if you just want to read something a bit weird, then I would say give this a wee shot because I had such a good time with it. I read this in a day. Look how big it is. This is over 400, it's like 450 pages. I read this in under 24 hours. I finished it in 3 sittings. It is a biggish book, but it's a very quick read because I just wanted to keep reading and I wanted to know what was going to happen next because I had absolutely no idea what was going to happen. And I really, really wanted Heather to get her ice cream because she got almost obsessed and like laser focused on having some ice cream, but no ice cream was to be found. And I get like that sometimes, you know, you just want a thing and it's all you can think of, even though they're traveling to a forbidden place and people are, well, people, ghosts, are ghosts people? Ghosts were people. That's something to think about. Ghosts are trying to harm them and they're trying to get this secret package safely to Almond Bay, and it feels like everyone's kind of hiding something. Maybe something important, maybe not. This was just gloriously weird, and I feel like I really want to read it again next summer. It's a perfect kind of summer read because the world that they're in is perpetual summer, and we've been having a heat wave. And I'm not good with summer even when we don't have a heat wave. And this had this sort of cloying heat that, well, we've been having recently, but they were living with it constantly. And they were sort of longing for snow. And I mean, I'm forever longing for snow. Highly recommend. I've got some high expectations for my next book because I just finished this and loved it. So I'm hoping for at least, you know, the same for Lusus Naturae. I'm hoping I'm going to get like some summer vibes and I'm going to have some fun characters and I'm going to just have an adventure. This was an adventure. I love an adventure. Yeah. I will be be back when I have updates. Hopefully, great updates, because I will have loved the book. I have now finished book 2, Lusus Naturae by Chris Koppel, and I hated this book. I never really want to be negative, or sometimes I will. I never want to be overly negative about a book because somebody worked really hard, I assume, on making the book. But I didn't like this. And I kind of feel a bit salty because I paid like £10.90 for this book. I got a discount, but I don't even think I had like the 90 pence worth of fun from this book. I feel like a lot of my fun came from my rant that I had when I finished the book. So I thought that it might be fun in a sort of light-hearted way, like no hate to the author, he has my money. If I just say what I didn't like about it, not what I didn't like about it, but the reasons that this book wasn't for me. It might be for somebody else. So this book takes place in a place called Deal, which is in Kent on the southeast coast of England. And we have these like marine archaeologists, which sounds so fun, who are dredging up this shipwreck. And this is all very grand. People are very excited. When they are bringing up the shipwreck, they find, this ship doesn't want to come up. What's happening? Oh, there's an anchor for a more modern boat. And there is another ship kind of attached to the shipwreck. So our marine biologists, our marine archaeologists go and check out this other ship. And in there, they find a sarcophagus, which is chained to the boat at the depths of the sea. Now, common sense tells us you walk away. You back away slowly from the chained sarcophagus at the bottom of the sea. There's a reason it's there. Probably not a good reason. You probably don't want to, I don't know, bring it up secretly, not hand it over to any officials or authorities, put it in an abandoned cinema. No? Because that's what they do. And then, something gets released. Who could have foreseen that this would have happened? And then we just kind of have a rampage story. And this all sounds like it could be kind of fun, but it was delivered in a really dry way. I'm going to start with the characters. We have our main character is called Jay. He is like, well, he's a marine archaeologist. He is first and foremost a buffoon. He is just stupid. He's got no common sense. He's not likable. And I think he's meant to be written in a sort of like aloof, awkward kind of way, but it just comes across as he seems like an ass. We have his assistant, Emily. She's 21. You really need to know that she's hot. It's really important that you know she's hot. She's also really smart. She has 2 PhDs and a master's at 21. Like, I mean, I had a bachelor's degree at 21. We are not the same. We also have Jay's ex-wife, Helena, who is French. She is from the sort of French side of the marine archaeology team. And they're kind of the main characters we need to know. The women, you don't get to know too much about them other than they laugh at a really kind of gross joke that wasn't that funny. The rest of the characters are kind of incidental, that if they're described in a horrible way, they're probably just being introduced to be killed off, which was fun the first 2 times, and then it was very predictable. Writing style didn't work for me. It was, again, I feel it was written in a way that, like, was this book meant to be satire? Because if it was satire, it was really good satire. But I couldn't find anything to say that that was the case. It was just not my kind of writing style felt like it was trying to be more clever than it was, and the book is full of Americanisms, which is one of my pet hates in, well, I'm from the UK, so books that are set in the UK, when they are full of terms that we would not use, like cell phone came up a lot. The word panties was brought up. We don't use those words here. We got other words. That word came up in reference to Sainsbury's, where we got to have an explanation of Sainsbury's, the supermarket, which is one of the biggest supermarket chains in the UK. It's where I get my shopping from sometimes. It makes me feel fancy. The plot, I had hope for this plot. I was really I was intrigued. I knew there was going to be some sort of creature feature, and I wanted to enjoy it. But when we got the grand reveal about the creature, I'm trying not to spoil it, because just because I don't like it doesn't mean other people won't, so you might want to read it. I got enraged and I threw my book. I was on my bed. I threw it to the end of my bed. I can't throw very far. I'm not a good sports person. But it enraged me because it was stupid and it was predictable. And I've read that plot multiple times. I've seen at least 3 films with that very plot, and it made me so annoyed because it could have been something else. It could have been some other way other than just plain idiocy. And then when the grand plan was formed, again I raged because like it just felt like, oh, by the way, we could just do this. Well, why did you not mention that at the beginning when you found out what the thing was? Why are you suddenly like, oh yeah, no, there's that thing, why don't we just do that? It was so silly. It was like when you are making a story as a child and you're like, and then I used my magical shoes to do that thing. And you're like, you didn't have magical shoes. But I have them now. That's what I got from this book. I believe this author has a whole bunch of books and has written some screenplays. I looked him up on IMDb, not seen anything that he's written, and I've not read anything else by him, but I don't want to. I really didn't like this. And the cover is gorgeous though. The cover is really pretty, but the book I hated. But it's nice to have a contender for my least favourite book of the year. I thought it was going to be The Compound, but it might be this. But upon reading this, I also thought it might be Strange Beasts. Is that it? There was an arc that I read that was like the children of Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty and Van Helsing, and that book enraged me too. I'm gonna have to work out which book enraged me the most, or I just move on with my life. All is not lost. I had a great time with my other book. So, you know, one star, one solid 4-star. I'm gonna take that as a win. Do let me know if you've read any of these books, especially if you like this book. That would make me feel better about the level of hatred I feel towards it, to know that somebody cares about it that isn't me. I'm so excited that I feel I can just start my autumnal reading now. I know it's mid-August, but I'm wearing a jumper. We've got a storm coming. I feel like it's acceptable to just transition into autumnal reading. That's my plan. Thank you so much for watching.